My name is Jerry Corbin, and I'm the son of Billy Corbin. Billy Corbin has taped an audio tape. We did at a family gathering, and it's about his exploits in World War II. They hung him out at the end of an airplane, and he saved a crew of 6 or 8 airmen and a B-25 aircraft. He was in the 13th Air Force. That's the patch of the 13th Air Force, which was known as the Jungle Air Force. They operated mostly in the South Pacific during World War II. This is a photograph of my father in his uniform back in World War II. There are 2 things you need to know about this tape. I only heard this story 3 times in my lifetime. Twice at his squadron reunions and once at this taping that we did of him at a family gathering. You mentioned a guy by the name of Richie, who is a turret gunner in the airplane that was in my father's, that my father was flying in. And Richie said that my father saved his life that day from doing what he did, that he's going to explain on this tape. And the second thing is the pilot of this aircraft was not the normal pilot, not my father's regular pilot, but a different pilot. And he wrote up an article and sent it to the La Mesa Press reporter telling about what my father did that day. And my father didn't receive any kind of medal or commendation for doing this. And he was more proud of the fact that he flew 50 combat missions. That's 50 missions where you get shot at, not a milk run mission. And he made 50, and it was the first one in his squadron to do it, and he got to come home early. He was prouder of that than he was anything else that he ever did in the war. I'm going to tell you, this tape is not professionally done. It's not edited. It's just a man telling a story. And heroes are made, not born. Thank you. I hope you enjoy listening to this.
Tell a story about, tell a story about hanging out the end of the airplane.
About what?
You hung out the end of the airplane in World War II.
Oh, no.
Yeah, tell me that story.
I have to be in the mood to tell somebody something like that.
Yeah, well, I want to hear it. But once it takes to put you in the mood.
Where was it?
Well, it was over, let's see, I don't know where the ball, but just I don't know, just out of the blue like that. Generally, if I ever, times I told anybody, it's when some GIs get to talking, tell them about their different experiences, but
I'll tell you my story, so tell me that story.
Well, what?
You tell your story first.
Yeah, a couple of
I won't go into much detail. I've run over maybe the highlights of it, but we were not on, it was during midday, we're not on a regular bombing mission. We were up on this island, and we were just going down the coastline, those little Japanese boats, they'd supply those villages, one thing or other, in small boats, because they're very big. We could see them and attack them, but those small boats, we'd go in and strafe them, because they were moving supplies from either bringing them in or moving them one way or the other. And we went in on a strafing in right to the edge of the water and the island, and strafed the area, which was not only this little boat, but some installations around it. And then as the pilot pulled up, that plane started vibrating terrible. I mean, it just rattled your teeth, it was vibrating so bad. And what had happened was, up above the doors and the windows, everything on one inside those planes there was an opening, and if you could, it was those portable boats that you live, that you save yourself in, and this is from the pilot, not from me, said that anti-aircraft fire struck it and knocked it loose. I don't know that one way or the other, but I come out of that back and that tail, just fluttering like that. Because what happened, all them rubber boats, they're pretty good size. I remember probably, I'm talking about 50, 60 years ago, they was probably 20 foot long, not real wide, but long. And they come out and is that rubber in the, they wasn't in the mud area, wood in that boat. But as it spread out then, like it covered all of the rudders and ailerons, that governs the up and the down, and this, all of the maneuvers of the ship, it just was hitting it just like that, so the ailerons and the tail and everything else. I don't know how long it took for the pilot immediately knew it, because he was getting all the full effect of it, just right in his teeth, being the co-pilot trying to hold it in the air, because he believed it was going to go down, it just couldn't stay in the air, and I really don't know. Most of our missions were no more than 12,000 feet. And depending on something like a strafing mission, we didn't fly nothing like that. We flew somewhere near a few hundred feet rather than thousands of feet. But I looked out to the tail. That's what my position was. I was tail gunner. And we had an opening of probably 18 by 18 inch. It was not square, but approximately that size in the tail of the ship, and that's where they mounted 250 caliber machine gun. That's where the tail gunner, you laid on your stomach in front of those machine guns. And of course they were flexible up, down, and both ways side. But of course it was about to shake that tail off too. I came out of the back. I didn't know what had happened, didn't know what was going on. And then, those 25s had a little opening on each side of them. I don't know what was put in the ship for, other than the possibility of putting some kind of cargo or unloading it. I don't know that. There was nothing else except just a door. You could unsnap it and open it or close it and latch it. But look back from it, could see what had happened. That tail over and all just to give me that. So I immediately figured out we were going to have to do something. That pilot was about to shake his teeth out, he and that co-pilot. So I got to, the gunner was old Richie, which you know, Ernie Richie, you knew him, but the radio man, to meet him. Do you remember when we made a trip up the north and stopped in Villarreal and tried to get a little boy to come drink coffee with me? Well, that was him. He wouldn't come drink coffee with me, but I got him. Of course, Richie was in this gun turret, which set up on top of the airplane, and it had a full 360-degree radius course it could turn. He was in it, and I got this radio man told him what he was going to try to do, and so this square window, which was up in front and on the same side as this rubber boat was, there wasn't anything on the other side. In fact, we couldn't get to it like we could this one, even if it had been. But I told him to hold my feet, and I was going to climb out and go back there and take that rubber life raft off of the old one, so the ship could be flown. It just giving it to. So I went out and he got the feet. He did 100% job. And then when I got back there, and I liked this inches, being able to reach that raft, just with my hands, I wasn't quite long enough. So I motioned for him to bring me back in. He pulled me back in, and I found a main charging rod. The gun turrets, the turret itself had to be charged. You had a rod about probably 16, 18 inches long, and had a crook on the end of it. But, sitting out on the field, somebody couldn't climb up in that turret and start firing it. You wouldn't fire. So they were set that way, and I found this, what they call the gun charging rod, which amounted to be, like I say, 16, 18 inches long. And I went back out there, had him get my feet, and went back out there, and I could reach it. I could reach it with this extension, but that extension that I'd taken with me had a little kind of a S-shaped end on it, which I had not thought about for a runabout. That little S-shaped wheel on it, and I could get to the mat. Well, I couldn't get a hold of it either, this S-shaped wheel just slide off of it. So I put me back in, and I went and got in the door there at this gun turret and bent that rod on the end where it was crooked, but it still had a part of an S-shaped or C-shaped hook on it. And I went back out and could get a hold of it, and I started moving it. We cruised at 175 miles an hour. That's what the plane we cruised in missions on there. And that big old rubber boat, which I think they call them a 4-man boat, but you going maybe 200 miles anyway, and that resistance anyway. But I finally did get some hold from it and got it to moving a little bit, and gradually, I don't know, you don't look at your watch and you get yourself on the left side press. You don't look at your watch to see how it's going to take you to do something. But I kept inching that thing up, inching. And every time I went back with that rod, I could get hold to that rubber mat, the boat, what it was doing. And the more I could get, over the edge, now the wind resistance began to help me finally. But I don't know whether it took me 10 minutes or 2 hours. I really don't know. When you're under the rush like that, you don't look at your watch and say, well, it's going to take me this long to do it. But just kept a feeling on that thing till it finally, most of us had worked itself that I'd worked off, and it was all beat down the plane from underneath, and when the maximum amount of it got over the edge, then the resistance took it down, and it all fell in one big piece of there. But how long it took, I don't know. I went up front and talked to the pilot and asked if he's going to fly all right. You know, what else it may have hoped was. We've been at this for, seemed like forever, which you had probably 30 minutes, but he said, the ship was flying fine, and so we went on back to base and landed on it. We didn't have any more problems, but he told me, he said, no way could he have landed that thing, because they're just rattling that plane all over, you know, just vibrating so bad that you couldn't even read the instruments on it, but that's basically what happened.
Did Richie hold your feet all the time?
No, it wasn't Richie, was radio man did it. Richie was up in that gun turret when this happened, and I got this other boy that told him what I needed doing, and he was the one that did it. But I can't remember that may have been the only mission he ever flew with us. Rich and I were two old buddies. We flew together for months after month, but I don't know this particular. I can remember where it was from. I can't remember Lily, Ohio was where it was from. But we went, you know, do you remember that far back?
I remember that.
We went through there, and I called him. We stopped to leave the rest of him. I called him, and he went in from downtown to see that he was from over there, Ohio.
The plane was going 175 miles an hour. How far off the deck were you?
Oh, well, if we didn't change altitude, then all that's going on, about 12,000 feet. Well, that's what we flew our missions at 12,000. Above 12,000, the human body begins to need supplemental oxygen. You can move a little bit and do a little bit at 12,000 feet, but that's where the oxygen is in the 12,000 foot air. But if you work yourself there, or you go any higher, you have to have supplemental oxygen in. But we were just lucky in that we didn't have to have, and didn't have any either, so.
Who was the pilot, Boswell?
Not that day. I don't know. I've got it at home, but I don't now even remember that name. Boswell was my old pilot who flew with it most of the time, but the pilot that was on that day, I didn't think he was that good, but he was a pretty good pilot, I guess.
Who was it that wrote you up for the medal?
It was this particular pilot.
What medal did they give you?
Well, really, I don't know that I ever got anything out of it. He wrote, this pilot wrote an article, and that article that was in the Lamesa Press Reporters on the thing that I always heard from about it. Just an article in the home.
Did they give you the Bronze Star?
They never did. I don't have a Bronze Star. They would get it. I received nothing of that over this article that this pilot wrote to the Lamesa Press Reporter, and I still got a copy of it. But all I got was good conduct medal, and I issued you a pilot's, not a pilot, but a